The LG devices offers a high print quality and are capable of printing in high speeds, depending on the application needs and the print media. Combining print and cut in one device saves steps in the production, it saves time and it saves space. And the accumulated experience on handling print and cut within Roland DG means that the LG delivers high quality, working both day and night if necessary. In the case that the need for print production is less, the alternative product is an MG device, which shares many similarities with the LG, but built for smaller production demands while still offering a high print quality directly comparable with the LG devices. UV ink is an extremely versatile technology, which makes it possible to print on a wealth of roll-based materials for many purposes. To mention a few applications such as car wrapping, stickers, posters, banners, backlit displays, floor graphics, and a lot more applications, and that's just for visual communications. But also other types of materials are printable in the LG. Paper and cardboard, perhaps for proof printing for packaging, and even metal plates for cans and other containers. LDPE for plastic bags, carbon, mirror media, fabrics. You can even braille using a combination of colored and gloss inks. Just to mention a few possible applications which are possible with UV ink technology. If adding an onboard primer, the applications are even more. The 8 ink slots offers multiple options for color configurations. The possible color configurations include CMYK in either a double configuration or different combinations with CMYK with red, orange, white, gloss and primer. LG is capable of printing more than 31 square meters per hour in double CMYK configuration and more than 20 square meters per hour in 6, 7 or 8 color configurations. Please refer to the dealer guide for comprehensive charts on print speeds in different configurations and resolutions. LG is equipped with 2 print heads using variable droplet technology, which provides great details as well as high density colors. Both print heads, which are positioned in a staggered position, are equipped with integrated heaters, which minimizes the effect from the surrounding area and helps stabilize colors. The take-up system is included with the printer and allows for unattended printing on both print and cut jobs. The take-up system supports 2 and 3 inches core media rolls up to 45 kilos. The pinch roller system has 2 major components in different sized pinch rollers. The outermost pinch rollers are harder than the innermost. This means that a good traction is possible in print and cut operations, even though the printer is set to lift the middle pinch rollers while cutting. On the front of the LG is a heater which helps media from lifting after printing. This is useful for certain media types which reacts by lifting from the platen or stretch due to the heat from the UV lamps. The temperature on the heater ranges from 30 to 55 degrees and can alleviate the effects on the media when cooling down after the print. The contour cutting section is easily accessed for changing knives and holders, and the equipped standard knives supports contour cutting in the most mainstream media. In the case that perforated cutting is required or cutting in other materials, alternative knives are recommended. The Roland DG portfolio offers knives for most applications. The inbuilt color touch display provides all the information needed to control the printer, from ink level information to media information and notifications about maintenance as well. It is optimized for easy navigation with all the main functionalities in the main screen and plenty of options for adjustments in the menu system below. Media presets created are automatically discovered by DG Connect for return on investment calculations and other purposes. The onboard cleaning pouch feeds the wiper system, keeping the wiper as clean as possible. This reduces the risk of missing nozzles and minimizes the manual cleaning process. To avoid the waste bottle overflowing with ink, the touch display informs the user with a notification when it's time to empty the waste bottle. An inbuilt sensor activates well in time before critical level is reached. If needed, an air purifier can be attached to the outlet found at the bottom side of the printer. Alternatively, an existing ventilation system can be attached. The connection will need a flange, which must be ordered and purchased separately. Roland DG Connect is supporting this printer, and it makes it possible to overview the operations, and it even supports remote diagnostics. Roland DG Connect is a free cloud-based software which can be upgraded via paid subscriptions, offering even more features. I'm preparing to load a roll of media. I have 2 media holders, so I can put a heavy roll of media. It makes it easier to load the media onto the rollers. The rollers themselves has a 2 and 3 inches support for media cores, and it has these convenient locking and unlocking mechanisms. So grab the media. This is a transparent adhesive media. Load it to the rollers and then lock the roller. I'm opening the UV shield here so that I can have easy access to the backplate, and then I can feed the media into the platen area under the pinch rollers. When I'm hearing the beep, then I know that I have fed the media sufficiently, and after a short while the vacuum will start and it will hold the media for me. So while it's holding the media, I can then have access to the pinch rollers here on the back side. I can lift the pinch rollers by holding down the handle, so it's a spring mechanism. So holding down the handle, and then I can move the pinch roller to the side if I want to deactivate the pinch roller on this media, in case that it's a pressure sensitive media or not. So in this case it's not pressure sensitive, so I'll just put it back in position. So when I'm happy with that, I'm loading the media, and then after the pinch rollers has been lowered, I can just deactivate the pinch roller if I want to do that. So when I'm happy with the position, I'm closing the UV shield and I'm ready to go to the other side of the printer. So on the front side, we want to make sure that the media is loaded all the way through the pinch rollers, across the platen, and in a position where we can have a good hold of it, and we can wiggle it from side to side, making sure that it's nice and straight. When it's nice and straight, let's position the pinch rollers. So we want the outermost pinch roller, we want that to be close to the edge of the media. The outermost pinch roller is determining the print width, the media width, and the excess pinch rollers we're just placing in between pinch rollers. So when the handle is lowering the pinch rollers that are positioned in between are not active. They're lifted from the media. So all we do now is to position the media clamps. The media clamps are important as they are securing the print head from striking the edge of the media if the media should curl a little bit. The Setup button leads to the library of already set up media. Loading a previous setup media saves time for the operator. The stars can be activated in the case certain media are often used. Tap New and then Next to create a new media set. Input a media name. In the case that the media should be set up using the take-up system, select accordingly. The display will then guide the operator through the process. The sensor will now read the position of the outermost pinch rollers, which determines the printable width, as well as checking that the media clamps are in the correct position. The LG can be used for cutting cut vinyl. If the media preset is for cut vinyl only, select accordingly. In the printhead height section, set the height according to the media. Perform a nozzle test if necessary. If the test shows missing or misaligned nozzles, it is possible to initiate a cleaning cycle. When a new media set is created, the process recommends to calibrate the media feeding and the bidirectional movement, the media gap. This can be an automated process which leaves the operator to do other tasks while the printer calibrates itself. Or it can be a manual process in the case of the media being transparent without a liner, in which case the automated calibrations will not be possible. When the multi-sensor has calibrated, the printing of the calibration chart will begin. The first part of the process is the feed calibration, and then the rest is for calibrating the bidirectional printing. As part of setting the cutting pressure correctly, the cut force correctly, we need to make sure that the knife is properly inserted into the knife holder and of course also to the printer. So taking out the knife holder, we can see that the knife is just peeking out ever so slightly from the knife holder. So having the knife that deep into the knife holder is making sure that it's held very stable, so that it can cut very intricate details. By rotating the tip of the holder, then we can expose more and more of the knife, and we want to make sure that enough knife is visible to cut through the media. So with a regular piece of vinyl, we can check that the tip of the knife is exposed far enough by cutting into the media without cutting all the way through the liner. So here we can check, yes indeed, we are cutting through the media. If we want to adjust the knife for a perforated cut, the knife needs to be a little bit more exposed to the level where it can cut through the media and also the liner. So we just fold the media so that we are not cutting all the way through both of them, and then we can just drag across here and make sure that we have enough knife exposed to do the perforated cut. Different media requires different settings in order to achieve a good cut contour cutting. The cutting force of the knife is adjusted in the blade adjustment menu, which is conveniently located in the main page of the touch display. This menu holds different options, such as positioning the cutting test in the case it should be in another position than the default, the cut test itself, force settings, cutting speed settings, and also a function for fine-tuning the cutting relative to the print. The default setting is 50 grams, which is suitable for cutting most commonly available vinyls using a reasonably new knife. To perform the force test, press Execute, which will have the printer perform the test. Evaluate the test by removing the circle and the square. These need to peel easily, and it can be evaluated if the knife was cutting into the liner. If the circle and the square did not peel off easily, up the force, and if there are traces in the liner, lower the force. Press Save when done and perform a new test to verify that the new settings are appropriate for the media. Cutting force settings are saved in the media profile and is recalled the next time the media is loaded. So I will go through producing this sign in VersaWorks based on a file from Illustrator. The sign is a sign printed on a transparent media, so it has a entrance sign and it has a exit sign. And the layers in Illustrators are built like this. So we have a layer of the CMYK information with the exit, we have a layer of CMYK information with entrance, and then we have a layer that is going to be used as a blocker and also as a white. But I only have the 3 layers without the cutting data, and I will produce the rest in VersaWorks using Job Assistant, and then I will print the job using the multi-layer functionality in VersaWorks. I'm going to manipulate this original file here. I'm going to use the tool called Job Assistant, which works in the right-click menu, Job Assistant. And in Job Assistant, I have different tools available to manipulate my file. So if I select the Layers tab, I can see the layers coming from Illustrator, and I can deselect them and I can see the underlying layers. So I'm just going to work with the top layer first. I want to separate that into one single print file. It contains color background and the exit sign. And this will be the last part of the sign being printed. So I will add cut contours to this just to make it a little bit more interesting. So in the cutting part of Job Assistant, I can either add cut contours to existing objects, or I can draw new objects, which I'm going to do now. So I will draw a circle, and this circle I will expand to cover the entire sign, and I will add some smaller circles surrounding it to make it a little bit more interesting. Something like this. I'll do the same on the other side of the sign as well. something like this. So I will select, hold down Shift, and then I can select multiple objects, or I will select all the cut contour lines that I created, and I will then use the Merge Multiple Cutting Lines tool. Select Merge, right there. So the sign is a little bit more interesting and appealing. And then I will just add a square surrounding my sign. That makes it a little bit easier to peel when after it's been printed. Something like this. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So clicking OK, Job Assistant will prompt me that it is going to create a copy with the changes made. And I can see here I have now added the cut contours. So I'm going to right click and rename and call it something different. Exit with cut, for instance. So this way, when I have multiple parts of the job, then I know which file contains what. So back to the original design, right click and then go into Job Assistant again. And now I will create the white plate. So I'll just deselect the other plates here and go into the spot color section. So in the spot color section, I'm going to replace this black square with white 100%. It says replace. Okay to that. Create another job. And now we can see that VersaWorks has the white information. Right click, rename, white. So now we are going to create in Job Assistant the other part of the sign, which is the entrance sign. Not much else to do here, but to separate it from the other layers. So I'm just clicking OK with that. Right click, rename, call it entrance. Okay, so now I need a blocker to be in the middle, to be printed in the middle of the sign, just to block the one side of color from the other side of color. So go into the layers part again, and then I will just separate this black square. Rename that to blocker. So in principle, I have all my files here. I will need to have another white to be printed on the other side of the blocker, but I will duplicate that in a moment. First of all, starting with the first job, I will make some basic settings that will be valid for all the jobs. So I will just get the media width. I will center on the media. I'll make 12 copies, and then I will rotate this. And I will make sure that my print settings are as they should be. Sign production, standard mode. I will do True Rich Color 3. That's correct. So, okay that. And then I will just right click and I will copy the settings I just made, and then I will paste that into my other files. So that saves me some work and the risk of error as well. So now this is pasted to all these, so I can double click here and then I can check that I have it's center on the media. I have my 12 copies and it's rotated. I just need to change this print mode because this is a white layer. So I want this to print with white HD to get that high density on the white. Okay to that. My blocker, I want to change the quality mode into density control only, because this file is 100% black from Illustrator and I want it to print just with 100% black. So doing density control only, I will just use the color information from the file. Okay, that. And last but not least, my entrance, which needs to be mirrored. Okay, So my white, I want a copy of this white to print on the other side of the blocker. So I'll just duplicate that. So now I have one file per sequence, and now I will select the files in the sequence that are going to be printed. So I will, first of all, I would print my entrance. I'll have a white background. I'll have my blocker, and then I will have white on top of that, and then I will have my exit with the cutting in the end of the sequence. And right-clicking this selection, I will select the Generate Layered Job. So the Generate Layered Job will take care of the rewinding the media after the printing. And if I just need to check that my cutting information, okay, print and cut, there we go. So I will open my layered job, and in here I can see the sequence of the jobs being printed. The entrance as the first, white, blocker, white, and exit with cut. Perfect. And then I just need to send it off to the printer. And because I want to have 60 copies of this sign, so I'm going to print the 12 copies in the job. I'm going to print that 5 times. So it will print the 12 copies, it will cut it, and then it will continue with the next number in the sequence. So ending up with 60 copies in total. When the prints are ready, it is time to apply. Using a white layer under the colors helps the colors to pop, and the black blocker between the white layers ensures that the exit sign is not visible when viewing the entrance sign and vice versa. So this is EUV 5 inks in pouches of 750 milliliters. Using pouches is an evolution from the cartridges, which allows secure handling, and at the same time it's reducing the usage of plastics in the production. Outdoor durability is a term which has no industry standards. Internal tests as well as tests performed by external agencies and media manufacturers shows that EUV 5 inks proves a similar outdoor durability as competitors' UV inks. In the case that the printouts for outdoor usage are color critical, it is recommended to laminate the prints with a laminate suitable for the media. EUV 5 ink is applied in very thin layers which are easy to laminate even without using hot lamination. EUV 5 is Green Guard Gold certified, which means that the inks are certified for use in indoor spaces and meets the strict chemical emission limits, as well as recognizes that Roland DG is helping to ensure global sustainability and environmental health and safety. LG has 8 slots for inks, and this means it can be configured in many possible ways. If you're looking for sheer speed, double CMYK will offer this. Orange and red are colors that adds to the color space of CMYK. Although CMYK can replicate many colors, there's still quite a few colors which benefits from adding spot colors to the mix. Orange and red spot colors makes the color space quite a lot larger, and including these, it's possible to achieve approximately 85% of the colors in the Pantone library. In the case that a large color space is required for printing jobs with logo colors, etc., it's a recommended configuration to include orange and red. White is definitely a key benefit on all the Roland DG UV devices, as UV white ink has a high density compared with other technologies. If white ink is a requirement, The LG can be configured with either one cartridge of white or even two. The 2 slots for white ink are included in a circulation system which lowers the white ink consumption and helps in keeping the heavy pigments floating when white ink is not in use. White is very useful for printing white graphics on colored materials and as a base layer on transparent materials and many other application types. Gloss ink can be used in different ways, such as an overcoat, a partial effect, and as braille. Despite its name, gloss ink can also print as matte to give that exclusive look. And when installing VersaWorks, a library of patterns for both Adobe Illustrator and for Corel is freely available. The primer ink helps in adhesion on materials where the ink has troubles bonding with the surface. Some metallic materials benefit from this, and in general, if the materials has a dirt-repellent surface or similar, the primer is beneficial. The benefit of an onboard primer means that we can design where the primer should print rather than the manual process of smearing primer on the surface, which can create a poor visual look on the final product. Please always test the onboard primer for specific applications to evaluate if the onboard primer is the best solution for that actual application. Deciding whether to go for a UV print solution rather than others depends very much on the individual needs. If white ink with a high density and/or gloss ink is required, there is only one viable solution, being UV ink. No other ink technology supports these properties at the point of producing this video. Comparing to eco-solvent inks, UV ink requires less energy in the curing process, which makes the production less expensive. Also, the instant curing properties of UV ink is a major advantage and can be valuable in a production process. Furthermore, less VOCs are involved in printing process with UV over eco-solvent. By nature, solvents are a large part of eco-solvent ink and much less in the case of UV. In the case that you are looking to reduce VOCs as much as possible while still achieving high density colors and instant lamination and installation, I recommend to look into the AP64 resin printer. When the device starts printing after a prolonged pause, it will perform automated cleaning cycles. These cleaning cycles are necessary to make sure that the print heads are in a good shape when the printer is set to print actual jobs. After all, the print heads are vital parts of the printer and rather expensive to exchange if not cared for. All Roland DG printers are running automated cleanings, which are based on programmed intervals counting from the last cleaning cycles and print cycles. These intervals are adjusted to fit the printer model as well as the ink type. If few print jobs are scattered along a workday, the printer will have to do multiple cleanings during the day. To keep these automated cleanings to a minimum and minimizing waste ink, it is recommended to collect print jobs to be printed in the same flow. This way, the printer only needs a few cleaning cycles and less ink is wasted. The LG series is extremely versatile for many types of production and at the same time as simple to use as any other Roland DG device. The combination of the available color configurations, a print and cut device in one, and with the included take-up device, and features such as the touch display and much more. The LG is certainly a flagship UV production device with few, if any, limitations. I hope that this video has provided useful information. Thank you for watching.